So what's the big deal about referencing? Why does everybody want things referenced so specifically with capitals here and lowercase there? What's the point? So why reference at all? Referencing is performed so that you can identify clearly the words or the ideas of someone else. However, that's not the only purpose. Aside from the avoiding plagiarism benefits, which are important, a citation provides a means for the reader to be able to find that source you're referring to and look at it for themselves. So that is the main point, being able to find that source. Here's the part that you're most interested in is how do I reference? Well, you can do it by hand. Manually enter the information into your document. Doesn't really matter how, if you're in Google Docs or Word, but this reminds me a lot about using a typewriter way back when, and I had to do this with a typewriter, and I'll never do it again that way. Just don't do it manually. There's a huge chance of making mistakes multiple times, and you'll likely have a lot more work set out for you if you have to move around your sentences. And if you're working with a group, you're going to be stuck fixing it for a long time to get it right. You'll waste hours of your time that you could have been spending making your document better rather than trying to fix references and get them just right. The second worst way to do references is to use a website. A website such as BibMe or Cite This For Me, there's citationmachine.net, all sorts of them out there, some of them specific to one style or the other. They're very popular, but do you really want to put your trust into a web app like that when marks are on the line? Honestly, I don't think you do, because they most frequently get things wrong. When you're copy pasting a citation either in text or into the reference list, guaranteed it's going to be wrong at one point or another. Don't do it that way. The format will be all wrong. The styles are usually wrong. They come up with their own version of how to do APA, and it doesn't match the official APA manual. And all you're going to do is perpetuate your mistake, or their mistake in this case, and make it obvious that you relied on a website to get it right. If you want to do it right from the very beginning, you should use some purpose-programmed software designed for referencing. There are lots of things out there. Many of them are free, and in fact, the free ones are the ones that I would recommend, where they will take care of everything. They will do your in-text citation properly. They will connect it to the reference list so that that is formatted properly, and it'll keep up when there's changes in your document. You move sentences or paragraphs around, it will keep up, and all will be okay in your final format. And you can change it at that point if you said, oh, they wanted it in Vancouver rather than APA. It takes 5 seconds to change it if you're doing this the correct way. What this does for you is changes the entire task from, oh my God, I've got to get this done in less than an hour, or I'll let down my group, or I'll fail. It doesn't have to be like that. It changes it when you're using software to, did the software get it right? You become the manager of the process rather than the grunt worker doing it. Completely changes the stress level. If you start using it, the software, you will probably never go back to doing it the manual way. So let's see what kind of software is out there and what my recommendations are and how that would work. Okay, so I recommend using the software called Zotero. Zotero.org is the website. It's free. It's available for all sorts of different operating systems and is actually very, very well designed. The other option I would suggest would be Mendeley. This one is now owned by the Elsevier company. I personally have tried both. Mendeley, I find it's a little bit more of a social network style, whereas Zotero is much more familiar to me coming from paid reference management software. So all you do with Zotero simply is you download it, you download the connector for your web browser, because that's how you're going to get stuff into your database to be able to reference, and you have to download a connector of some sort for your word processor. The reason I suggest Zotero is a little bit better is that Zotero plays very well with Google Docs and Microsoft Word, and that probably covers most people. Mendeley does not work as well, and it won't work properly with Google Docs. So I will focus specifically on Zotero just for this quick example. So Zotero itself is, here's the desktop version. The online account will show you the exact same thing. It synchronizes your information to that online database. The way it's set up, you have folders, you have documents within your folders, and then you have information about them. So as an example, I'll pick this document from Crick in 1970, the central dogma of molecular biology. All the details are over here, and this is what it came from PubMed. How I got it into PubMed is from PubMed is for a different video, but in essence I pulled it from PubMed. I can pull it from Google Scholar, from almost anywhere, into this database, and then I am able to take this information and use it while I'm writing to insert a citation into my document. And I'll show you that in a second about how that is going to look. But it's very simple. You can do most of your research here. You double click on some of these things. The document will open up. You can then find out more information about it, download it if it's available, whatever. So it's a very useful way to change your writing style. So I'm going to now go with my Zotero and a Word document. I'll just open Word, a blank document, and I have already installed the connector. Here it is. There's a tab that opens up. In a Mac it'll look a little bit different, but it's the same idea. Here are the Zotero specific commands. So if I type something, doesn't really matter what it is, and then I want to say somebody said that, I'll add the citation. I'll choose the Vancouver style or whatever style. There's actually in this manage styles area about 30,000, so you won't be limited into what style you can use. You say OK, now I'm ready. Up pops the Zotero window. I can pull up whatever I want. I'll put in Crick and find out, oh, here's the paper by Crick. That's the one I wanted to reference. I press enter, and in my reference it goes into my document. I say a bunch more things and go, oh, somebody else said that. So go to my add citation. Since I don't know who said it, I could search in here. This is like a search bar. Or if I click here and go classic view, here's my database. Okay, so this is who I wanted to, Carl Vos, I wanted to say that he said this thing. Click OK. There's Carl Vos and his paper. And I go, okay, I've got more things to talk about, and a bunch of people said that. So let's go into my database in the classic view for now and say this one, this is a good one to have. I'll add that. Actually, I wanted two people, so I go add or edit the citation and go, oh, I wanted to say something out here. I'll say, okay, this guy, Seidlitz, what did he say? Here's one from 1988. And okay, let's see, Rangachari. Oh, here's one here from 2010. Keep editing that citation until you're ready, and when you're done, press enter. References 3 through 5. When you're done your document, simply go over to here, add, edit, bibliography. There it is. So I call this references. I'm done. The beauty of using something like Zotero or Mendeley is if I take this sentence and move it there, for a second it'll look like that, but if I press refresh, watch that reference list. It just moved everything around to the correct order. When you're completely done and you want to paste this into the form that's your assignment or whatever it is, unlink the citations. It'll make this into just plain old text. You just copy, paste, you're finished. It was as easy as that. This works very well for complicated documents or Google Docs where a lot of people are working on it at the same time. You simply change your process of what you're doing with the information is get it into your database, then put it into your paper, and all of it is correct. Sometimes there'll be errors that you'll need to fix in your database, but usually it gets it correct.